Christmas 2024 with the Lovelocks of Sunninghill. Rough cut photo trails and video clips. Now this will be confusing because the photo trails and video clips in the middle of this are those for Christmas Day, Christmas Eve and the day before, I think. And the material at the front, including what follows this and at the very end, is from the previous video. So let's try and go into that, starting with the flatulent fairy on our front doorstep. Right, what I'll do is a quick glance here. There's Homer, and yes, coming along, there's the robot boat, and yeah, there's June's car, just back from shopping a little while ago. And the key thing is that this is just a rough cut with various video clips thrown together. And what will be confusing, yeah, there's Lady Michelle's pussycat. Hello, lady. Is when I'm referring to photo trails, they won't be the same photo trails, even recent. So this, I'm shooting this using my smartphone. Let me just turn the light on, might be better. There we go. Right, into the kitchen briefly. So June's not back long from shopping, having a bit of lunch. It's Samantha. Good work was done by Michelle a day or two back. All been the photo trails, not just the blocked sink fixed, but other things. And hopefully Samantha will be helping Mummy a bit more in the coming days. So she started to, as you'll see in the photo trails. Yeah, that's my untidy study. Lots of pictures of old friends up on the walls. Yes, paintings done by family and the expensive Renoir. Yes. And in here, this is their lounge. I'll be running into the introduction that was shot that started about here, and I think it'll explain things like Baldrick's cunning plan about getting Samantha more involved in helping June and giving me more time for relaxing in the village. So let's run into that clip and then the photo trails. And don't forget, these photo trails approaching Christmas, not to be confused with what I might be referring to as photo trails in the clips that are used. Yes, I'm in the lounge at the moment and I'm having to improvise with my smartphone instead of a camera, and so most of this video, apart from the photo trails in the middle, will be earlier clips shot probably a week ago and other stuff. Anyhow, right now we're at the stage of newsletters going out. Some were posted yesterday, and that's the online Christmas newsletter. And there are various printable versions, shortened versions there. And I find this very difficult what I'm doing at the moment, but not to worry. So what shall I say? Oh yes, that's Robin's Naughty Corner. The earlier material will show you things, and yeah, coming through, you see Christmas decorations going up. Yeah, glance at this untidy room here. So work has been going on that. Not a lot. And yeah, Samantha's been doing a bit of hoovering recently, and Baldrick's cunning plan that he told me was to get Samantha more involved in helping June with housework and possibly other things. So there's, as you'd expect, tennis on the television, As Samantha is actually helping June there. That's the new dryer, which appears on photo trails. This is the kitchen. Right now we've got a block sink. You'll see that in the details of the photo trail. So a lot of this might be of use for guys that are going to help with property maintenance in the broadest sense. So I'll give a quick glimpse of the garden, but the same thing will appear on the material that was shot, I think a week or so back. And so what I'm going to do here is, after this, what I should mention is Baldrick's cunning plan last year was the process that was very successful of creating space in the garden for putting things, and we just need to do that work of putting things in the right place. And as I often say, people often tell me where to stick things, but Baldrick's recent cunning plan in the last few months was for me to avoid jumping in and doing work, but instead to encourage Samantha to come out of her room and instead of sat up there watching television, and help June with the housework, and actually move from the point of view, well, not a housework, all the odds and ends. And in fact, there was progress on that with putting up Homer, which you'll see in the photo trails. And of course, one of the bonuses is it means that it's good for my well-being, because I can spend much more time down in the village, in cafes, and most important of all, in the Comrades Club. Some people call it networking. And of course, it's all to do with hobbies and charitable causes. It's nothing to do with avoiding work or delegating work. Anyhow, that's enough talking from myself. I think one thing I could try and do, if I can do this, I'm obviously in selfie mode, which I'm completely unfamiliar with, is a quick glance of Homer on video as opposed to in the photo trails. So this is Homer. Hello, Homer. And yes, hello. And so that was one of the things that, one of the jobs that Samantha helped early on, improvising, getting a solution there. It's the nitty gritties in the photo trails. So I'll go back where I was. The whole thing is rather disorganised, as you can see, and I hope these clips to come together in a relatively organised way, if that's possible. I'll try and end on our porch, where the last video, which was early December, started. This is our front porch, and here is the flatulent fairy. So we'll start about here. This is the flatulent fairy out the front, which may go up one of the trees for Christmas. But you see, I'm having to use my smartphone because I haven't managed to get to use any of the other cameras. I'm wearing the Father Christmas gear. Now what I'm going to do is, after this clip, there'll be an introduction that was shot probably a week ago for another video, and then the photo trails, and then I wrap up with the usual stuff about global warming and DVLA. So here's the robot boat. Then you'll see the photo trails for the last day, showing that the wind had blown it down, and so that lamp, which is still working, he says there, so it's still working, but it's broken off there, so that has to be fixed. And there's Snoopy the Viking, or better put that in a better place, down there. So you'll see the detail in the photo trails. So what I'll do now is, yes, that's the front of the house. I'll run into the introduction that was shot a little while ago. And these really will be rough cut because I'm messing around with 2 cameras. This one will probably fail soon. Anyhow, first the introduction. Where we live at 22 Armitage Court. Signs about fierce guard cats. Where GPS was tested from the late 1980s. Down at this spot here. Oh, the garden sculpture seems to have got disappeared, knocked about. Oh dear. And yes, if you want more about the robot boat, look at earlier photo trails like end of October or something like that. But that's Snoopy's robot boat. Loads of work needed on that, with the help of others. It might possibly be suitable to be tested this year, but as I say, look at the earlier photo trails for more. Coming down, June got her car back after work done on it, and very pleased with that. That gets mentioned in the photo trails. And of course I'm not allowed to drive. That's all covered by the public information. And yes, the cat fort. This is for the fortunate people who haven't had to put up with my videos being put up. So that's lovely blue skies, and here we come to where I go through the process of warning you, health and safety and all that, but don't forget they are just jokes. And so before we actually go into the house, yes, that's the flatulent fairy. We're getting close to Christmas, so this year it might be ready to go up on a tree, and we've got quite a few around here. And yes, there's lots of other gadgets around here. They appear in earlier photo trails in more detail, but the important thing are the warning signs. And don't forget, these are just jokes, because some people will say, oh, you daren't say that. So first of all, closed circuit TV cameras inside and out the house. Sound and video is monitored in local houses and elsewhere. There's just one example. There are many cameras everywhere. No trespassing. Violators will be shot. Survivors will be shot again. And this is my study through there. Do not disturb. I'm disturbed enough already. And since cameras are the least you have to worry about, oh, by the way, I can see the senior guard cat is coming down. This is Bentley, who, hello Bentley, he's a major protector of the premises, and he's been training. You're probably coming in to have something to eat, I expect, aren't you, Bentley? There you go, Bentley, you can go in. You don't have to. June, Bentley's coming through. Okay, Bentley, in you go. Yes, that's the feeder, peanut feeder for the wildlife that come. Go on in, Bentley, you can go in. You don't have to worry about Toadie. I'm not going in until I've read those warning signs. It's all to do with health and safety. Now, as I said, cameras are the least you have to worry about. Bentley is an example. He's the senior guard cat that's been training Toadie. If he's carrying firearms, it won't be obvious. But easy to carry surveillance equipment. Right, here we go. This one's important. Home of mad ex-NATO scientist Robin Lovelock. Beware of web cameras and water squirters loaded with water, paint, acid, DNA tracer or nerve agent. Robin would not be mad enough to test these, or would he? Just a joke, of course. Right, I think that's it, yes. Visiting cards. You'll see I'm growing a beard for Christmas. What does that do about things like visiting cards or ID, photo ID, let alone systems that recognise your face in order to decide what to do? Right, I think that's it. I think it's safe to go into the house. So I'll just put that where it was. Nobody picks those up. Right, yes, I think it. Oh, I didn't point out the camper. This is what takes Snoopy down to the coast for an attempt on crossing the Atlantic. and it's got battle damage. June said Robin did it. Robin said the wall did it, but the wall is okay. Right, I think it's safe to go into the house now. So, and at any time I might suddenly stop the video because the camera will have gone flat on here. Okay, June, give it a wave. There you go. Right, untidy games room, and with the right help, and that's what these photo trails are largely about, getting help, because the place, things need to be put in the right place. Earlier photo trails will probably show it much better. I'll close this door for the moment. Right, into the kitchen. Oh yes, here's Bentley. We don't want him to disturb you, especially because he can be quite violent when he wishes to, but he only uses violence when it's absolutely necessary. Right, so yeah, that was a bit of work that was done some time ago now, at least a year or two back. Most of the work is out in the garden. Probably won't get a chance to show it. Right, let Bentley carry on eating there. That's okay, is it, Bentley? Thought so. Right, so quick glance at the lounge. About the only room that is untidy. Things like diary, radio, computer, COVID graphs, other bits and pieces, and Robin's naughty corner. That's the important bit because that's got comfortable furniture for me to relax in the evening and eat. Oh, and here's Toadie. Toadie is our guard cat. Toadie, hello. No playing. Okay, you're relaxing, are you? You're supposed to be on duty here, right? No attacking me. Right. That's the dreadlocks from a party some time ago. Yes, oh, and that's another one that appears on, I think it's the Catamaran video. Anyhow, that closed circuit TV, that's just for the channels. There. I expect this camera's going to go flat any time. But, okay, Bentley. Oh, what are you going to do? Oh, check out things, I suppose. Right, what I'll do is I'll go out this way. As I say, the camera might go flat any time. Few things here. Haven't tidied it up. It's all a matter of doing higher priority things. And which in recent months means going down to the village and spending time there. Oh, there's Alexa's sailing saucer. Gets a special page on the Snoopy Robot Boat page. Yeah, friends everywhere, even during difficult times. Peanuts. And to the garden. And what I'll do is, since this might still be running, I'll say we go into the photo trails here. Oh, hello Bentley, you decided to come out this way, have you? Right, okay. Yeah, well, it's a good idea, you could check things out. Right, so I might continue this shoot, so goodness knows what will happen when I edit this video, but let's say, so the photo trail will probably start about here. Monday the 23rd of December 2024, starting with a summary of the photo shot that day. Yes, that's lady, after being moved from Robin's naughty corner seat, that's my seat there, and yes, that happened several times during the day. And Samantha, yes, starting to do a bit of work. Michelle said, oh, it'd be good if we could light the fire, but there's a load of paper to be cleared. And yes, I had lunch, and yes, there's Bentley prowling around. Samantha did a little bit of tidying up on Homer, including retrieving the air pump that we might use for another thing, and of course watched by Bentley. June's rustled up dinner for the evening, and I take it into the naughty corner and think, oh, where might I take a walk? Oh, might force myself to get some exercise past Homer, into the village and into the Comrades Club. Yes, took 1 or 2 pictures there very carefully, that was it. Perhaps only one. And yeah, back home. And the flatulent fairy on guard duty. Yeah, check the tracker. Anybody could see where I was in the Comrades Club and when I left. Back home. And just here. So that's the end of the summary. So now into all those boring photos, starting with Lady, yes, in various places. And of course, having problems with that blooming camera, still haven't got the settings right. You have to have the right set. That's overexposed, isn't it? And so a lot of time is spent tweaking the camera, trying to find out if there's any way of getting it to work reliably. Fingers crossed, he says. So that's probably processing of a video, or it could be all sorts of things. Late December. Oh yes, that's the big video collection of all these little photo trail videos and other video clips. Yes, that's my seat that Lady's in. And there's an effect, interference between shutter speed, probably too fast a shutter speed, and the refresh rate. Oh, that was quite important, which is to do with paying the gas bill. Now, there had been a mistake, but anyhow, very interesting, raised lots of questions like alternatives to gas, electricity, solar power, heat pumps, all sorts of things. And of course, with no time at all, you do some searching and find out the history of gas and other services like electricity, and how that's changed over the years, particularly with things like privatisation. But let's stay out of politics, eh? Nah, politicians are to be helped in the right way. Yes, so that then, we were reduced to speaking to a real person. Not sure where she was, didn't matter. Out in the middle of nowhere probably, but we got a result. Right, so that looks like, oh yes, that's something Jim wanted fixed. Some Christmas light or other. So Michelle helped her with that. And that looks like processing. Oh, it's only done a little bit. This is the late December video, so I'm making a guess at when that might finish. And right, so then I think Michelle said, oh, it'd be good if we could light the fire, but there's all that paper in it. And of course that interrupted her having a coffee, and I had to point out, yes, there's where the matches are. That's how you strike a match. And so very carefully you can get rid of all that paper. And yes, by the way, if you hear any bleep bleep in the background, that's probably my smartphone, somebody doing some chat or other on it. Yes, so that's my lunch that you see very artistically I put together. And there's Lady. And yes, that's my seat, as I moved Lady carefully, I think. And yes, looking at that, oh, he says 3:30. And yes, so now Michelle's taken that seat. Understandable, you can look at the closed circuit TV. She saw Bentley prowling around. Yes, there he is. Do you want to come in the house, Bentley? Yes, he says, I might as well come in and check things out. So he comes through into the lounge and then probably into the kitchen, had a bite to eat. So that's now video uploading onto YouTube, fingers crossed. So that processing went a bit quicker than I thought. And there's Bentley relaxing in the hall now. Oh, no, he says, I'll get somebody else to do the hoovering. Yeah, somebody like Samantha needs to do it a bit more. So there's Lady dozing again. And I mentioned to Samantha, there's still the little pump out there needs to be untangled that we put as a temporary fix when we bought that other because that was before we realised it's quite simple to get the original pump working well by wiring it to the transformer properly. And so right, make sure that's put back in the box, and that could be pumped up. Yeah, so there we are, that little pump. We only gone to Longacres to buy that other thing. Oh yes, there's the two pussycats prowling about. No play fighting, I think then. There's Bentley at the front. Hello, Bentley. Yes, he's just making sure that nobody's doing anything naughty. And there's, yes, Toadie very sensibly took the high ground on top of June's car. Oh yes, I said yes, that'd be useful to hammer in that stake, because it needs to be tied if it's a wind. Right, so there's an example of a bit of work that Samantha managed to do. And right, so then we brought that cardboard box in, which has got all the things of that inflatable whatever it is. I don't think it was a snowman, it was something or other. So I might dig that out possibly today, but ideally get somebody else to do it. Right, that's the dustbin. Now the dustbins hadn't been emptied, and I suspect it was that the dustbin lorry was overloaded with so much Christmas stuff that people were there's probably no way they could do it. They obviously wanted to get back to enjoy Christmas themselves, but we found several neighbours had put the dustbins away even though they hadn't been emptied. So that was Samantha going off for a late tennis. There was a bit of drizzle, so I think no surprise she probably spent much of the time in the clubhouse over the Royal Ascot Tennis Club. But right, so June's watching television. Oh yes, that's rustling up food now, chicken. Sorry about those of you who are vegetarians, which include members of our family. Yes, so there she is on my seat again. That's Robin's naughty corner seat. So very carefully I move the cushion with Lady on it onto the little place at the side. There, I could have a bit of a doze then, but only for a few minutes. And I thought, oh, that cobweb needs to be shifted in front of that camera. So I went out, and then you got a clear view of things, including the boat, so you can see if it did start when it got some sun on it. See it, had a bit of a doze again only a few minutes, and I see Lady has occupied that position as well. Yeah, sorry about that phone ringing. I'm not going to answer it right now. I'm going to finish this, I'll ring the person back. I've got to guess who it is. It might be my new friend from Africa, who's been over here since 1990. Yes, I'll ring him back after. And yeah, so that's where I'm going next, the Comrades Club, suitably dressed with my Father Christmas gear. And this is only speculation on who that was ringing, and sorry those of you playing the video who thought their phone was going off. Right, into the Comrades Club. Yes, just one or two pictures taken there, carefully of course, make sure nobody's in it, and then back out, and on my way home again. A lot of this is testing the camera on higher brightness, and into the house, and the flatulent fairy, and yes, back home. And as I'm recording this, I saw it was Utah. I'm going to ring him back in a minute or two after this. And yes, back home to 22 Armitage Court. And yes, just here in the lounge with the Christmas trees, Christmas decorations. Put the tracker on charge. Yes, time for bed. So that's the end of the photo trail. Tuesday the 24th of December 2024, Christmas Eve, and the highlight was the fantastic present I got for June. Yeah, less than £150. That was from Chapman's, and yeah, I was really pleased with that. And so this is the summary of the photo shot, and lots of things happened that day. Not sure I can work this out. It was a case of getting Samantha out to help Mum with various things. Oh yes, we stumbled on that lovely mug from Sicily, one of the holidays a few years ago. And so all sorts of things. I decided to take a walk down into the village, left Lady, Michelle's pussycat, on guard duty in the lounge, down past Homer. That was my first trip down to the village, and of course I wanted to do a bit of shopping, and June's Christmas present was on the list, but first of all had to go into the Blend and Brew and have a late lunch, and yes, enjoyed that, and then carried on down, and of course the shops were open, and I went into several of them, and including yes, Thames Hospice and Inspirations, where I bought that Christmas mouse, and that's what I got in Chapman's. Very pleased with it. So making my way back into the Comrades Club, yes, went through and prepared the presents before I went home, and yeah, back into the house. Yes, that mouse, Christmas mouse, seems the right place for it, on the corner, Robin's corner. Check the tracker. Anybody could see where Robin was if they wanted to hide, including round the village and back home to 22 Armitage Court. And there's the fairy that I bought as well for the Christmas tree. Yes, I looked at the flatulent fairy outside and I thought the face was much nicer, so I thought I'd do a bit of artistic work with Tipp-Ex and pens, and I think I was quite pleased with the result. Yes, much more attractive fairy on the top of the tree. Oh yes, that came through as well. I think that was London Dressmakers, but yes. Oh yes, it bit of a sad day in some ways, and we did spend time down at the Bansals. It was exactly 6 years that son AJ had passed away, but of course Romeo was always entertainment there. So then down, and this is in the evening, had a meal in the Rajvuj, and yes, I thought I was going to get onion bhajis, but instead I got those, but I was very pleased. And back into the Comrades Club and spent quite a lot of time in there. Practically no photos, but yes. Right, well, they go into the detail. There's not time to. Back home, yes, the flatulent fairy. Back into the lounge. Yes, Lady and Michelle watching something on the telly. Check the trackers. Yes, anybody could see how long Robin was in the Comrades Club and that he got back home. And put the trackers on charge. So that's the end of the summary. So now into all the photos in the order they were shot, starting with Lady and June chatting to somebody on the phone. Can't remember who it was at the moment. Might have been Paul. Not sure. Oh, perhaps it was, yes, of course, Janet Verslin, I think. And oh, it's all very hectic. There's Samantha in her room, relaxing, watching the telly. All that junk she's got. Well, that's her room. She can keep it untidy if she likes. But there's the so-called spare bedroom, which is access to the roof. All those clothes just dumped there. Look at that. You can blame the women for that, not me. Yeah, out looking out over the garden and the flat roof, down the stairs, into the untidy games room. Yes, you can blame me. That's mostly robot boat stuff and various handyman jobs around the house. Looking out the window, the back garden, and yes, the top pond. June's doing work in the kitchen. Yes, I love that. stumbled on it. It had been tucked away in the kitchen somewhere. Yes, yeah, that was a subject that came up on the phone, probably with Janet, I think, Janet Versling, and it's Christmas, of course, and we just hadn't had a chance to visit them this year. And so, yeah, now Michelle's cleaning up, and what they discovered is that special power washer was just the thing. The floor for years has been rather discoloured round at one end. Anyhow, because lots of projects on the go here, Christmas cakes and things to take over to Saskia's for the next day. Yeah, a bit blurred, that picture. Yeah, memo. That was she pointing out. Yeah, look at all that discoloration of the floor. Sort of looks whitish instead of the proper colour. And they'd found that washer thing from the garage tucked away. There's the lady keeping an eye on things. And what are we doing next? Oh yes, I'm thinking of taking a walk down to the village. So yes, out of the lounge with the Christmas trees, with lady guarding the lounge. I'll take the cue ball just in case there's a bit of fun in the Comrades Club, because I wasn't sure exactly what's going to be going on. I think I put that gnome back in the right place. He'd been knocked over probably by foxes. Yeah, so up past Homer. Yeah, take a selfie with Homer. And there's the robot boat. Yeah, rubbish hadn't been taken away. Yeah, I expect the dustmen were overworked. Probably too much rubbish from boxes. Yeah, walking down to the village. At least you can see that there. It was light. And yeah, past the Comrades Club. Past. And into the Blend and Brew, where I had a coffee and something to eat. Yes, I think tuna and sweet corn. Yes, have a check. And so after that, carry on down the high street over the railway, and checking out the various places where there might be something worth buying, either as a present or decoration. Like the fairy was one of the things I was on the lookout for. I wanted a fairy on the top of our indoor Christmas tree. So it's Goldilocks and the Three Bears on. Yeah, just making a note. It's open day, St Michael's School. So I'm getting down to the end of the village, and that new place, I checked that out just in case there was something in there. Yeah, looked good. And making my way back up the high street now. Yeah, hullabaloo. Ah, I thought it was open, but it's in fact closed. Come on, we're open. Yeah, jewellery place. Well, I wonder. Didn't actually. I have got expensive jewellery in the past. Into Thames Hospice. And yes, I came away with something. And the inspirations as well. I went in there. Yes, I often go in there for cards. And there's that little mouse, a Christmas mouse. I thought, yes, he can join some of those armed mice that I've got near the front. So then into Chapman's. And that was well worth it. Yeah, I noticed plumbing stuff there that Michelle could have got for the work she was doing instead of from Screwfix, but not to worry. So I was looking around there for anything I might see, and then I saw that. Now, although there were some cheaper doorbells there, people ring for service, I think, room service and things. And right, I decided to have that, and yeah, so making my way back, and not sure where I went next. Yeah, gradually coming up the high street. Yes, probably into the Comrades Club. Yes, I spent a bit of time there again. And yes, I basically tidied up the presents, including making sure that price label was still on the present for June. and gave June a ring just to let her know where I was. And yeah, so coming out now, so back up High Street, out of the village, into Armitage Court, to our place. Yes, there's the boat. Nothing happened on that front for a little while. And that seems a good place to put the mouse. Yes, Christmas mouse. So dangling mum there. Seems a good place. Oh, there's Toadie on duty, sat on June's car. Yes. Hello, Toadie. There's Homer. And Samantha coming out. Oh, I just showed Samantha Mum's present. Yeah, she didn't seem very impressed, but she was off to the village to get something or other. And yes, into the house. And that's the fairy. So that seems about the right. So, oh yeah, a lot of hard work that was, all walking down the village and everything. And that floor, they made a brilliant job of cleaning that. Kitchen floor, that's been pretty discoloured for years. Yeah, just looking at the track, anybody could see where I spent time, including the Comrades Club. And back home. Yes, to 22 Armitage Court. Just here. So what else do we have? Oh yes, there had been some dialogue via YouTube, and then I got an email with a video of Father Christmas, and I think that may be the guy. Be good to have a deeper dialogue. It tended to be a thing that pops up at random every Christmas or so. Just commenting on the YouTube channel. Anyhow, yeah, just looking at the junk in. That must be the games room. Right. That's oh, that's the price label. Oh yes, I could only get that photograph using my smartphone because the little pocket camera just wasn't capable. At least I didn't know how to set it to focus closer. That's probably what the problem was. I'm putting things back where they belong. And what's happening there? Samantha helping with a few things, perhaps. Yes, this business of cleaning. And I think what was going on in the background was the making of cakes and things and puddings. Anyhow, got all the presents. Yes, hard work wrapping them up. Ready for taking over the following day, Christmas Day, to Saskia and Gary's. So then I'm looking at the fairy, and I thought, looking at the face, I thought, we could probably improve on that face. So consult the one I did on the flatulent fairy on our front door. Tipp-Ex and pens, both black and red. And yes, that wasn't too bad. A little better in terms of the face now than what it was. So that's up in position. Job well done. Yes, put things on charge. Right, you tell it's getting darker now. Oh yes, there was a little light in it. When you switched it on, it lit up. Big fat tummy that lit up. Oh, they're busy making cakes or cooking, which is good. Samantha getting into that. Managed by June. Yes, they are very busy. Yes, I can afford to relax a little bit. Oh yes, and I saw a cobweb hiding things from one of the cameras, so that was the one out the back. So when I gave it a bit of a, well, I just put my hand over it and brushed the cobweb out of the way. And then of course, treading on things there's a load of broken glass in that basket of wood. That needs to be done. Put the torch back where it belongs. Yeah, now that cobweb's out of the way. yeah, there's me going out to clear it. Yes, so now you've got a clear view of that patio area, and there's me taking a picture of it. So that's better there. And that was at 17:35 when that was done. Oh, as Bentley decided to come in, prowling around, probably having his evening meal. Looks like June's rustling up. Oh yeah, gingerbread doves apparently, or something similar. Bentley saying, "Oh, time to go out, please." Yes, there we go. Not long after 6:30 in the evening. And yes, that needed charging up, I think. So the camera. Oh dear. Yes, this is the guy. Uh, yes, that guy. I looked it up. It's interesting. Greek, ancient Greek origin name, but yeah, it'd be really interesting to get into a dialogue. Um, but anyhow, we'll see what happens on that front. And oh, looks like June's off, and I think they're off down to the Bansals. She's got her tracker. Yeah, I'll give Bella a ring and say they're on their way. And yes, AJ, it was 6 years since exactly that he passed. Loved by everybody. And right, so they're down there. So perhaps I'll follow them as well. Just a question of timing. And yes, so it looks like I'm suitably dressed in my Father Christmas attire. Yes, past Homer, and down the road. It's all dark. Haven't got the exposure right on that camera. Perhaps it's not capable. Don't know. Past the Comrades Club, into the Bansals, and enjoyed the time there. Rad, Al, Romeo, because Michelle and June were already there. Oh yes, they had presents for Romeo as well. That's it. I think it was a kind of a squeaky thing that lit up when you bit it. He enjoyed that, yes. And so Bowler took some video clips of him playing with his present. I think that was before it was unwrapped. So he said, "Oh, I can unwrap it." Trouble is, he might chew it up. Yeah, so that was like this. He's quite a good boy now. I was thinking I might go down to the Raj Village, and I checked, and they looked as though they would be open. So I went down. When I looked in the window, they were in this. When I got there, I was still going down the high street. They were incredibly busy, and I thought, no, there's no way they can squeeze me in. But she insisted on me coming in, and obviously didn't take many photos in there. But yeah, that's the elephant in the window. Yeah, it was absolutely crowded. And oh, that was a call to June, just to let her know that what I was doing. And yes, I think those are vegetable samosas, and wasn't what I'd ordered, but I'm very happy and very reasonable price indeed. Oh, and then of course the chocolates, and then we settle up at the end, including the tip. And yes, I thoroughly enjoyed that. Lovely atmosphere in there, and yeah, so making my way back home past the Jade, what used to be the Jade Fountain. Yes, a reminder that the road's going to be closed in January, past Chapman's, where I'd been in before, over the railway bridge, and Commons Club. I think I probably went in there. Yes, I'm sure I did, and I'd spent quite a lot of time there. Very few photos, but time with Chris and Charlotte, was it, and Fees, including, I seem to remember Fees demonstrate his capability to play pool one-handed and possibly taking bets on it. Anyhow, back home with Homer and the flatulent fairy into the lounge. Quite late now. Oh yes, Michelle's watching something with Lady. Put the cue ball back where it belongs. Yes, check the tracker. Yes, anybody could see where Robin was. Yes, he's in the Comrades Club. Oh, looks like he's walking home now. And yes, he's got home. And yeah, there's the details of it, timing and everything. 22 Armitage Court. Yep, just here. And there we go, 11:30 at night. Put the tracker on charge. That's June's tracker. Yes, that's needed putting on charge as well in the kitchen. Time for bed. So that's the end of the photo trail. Wednesday the 25th of December 2024, Christmas Day. Yes, family get together over at Blackbush Airport. That's Gary on the right, gone walking around. Yes, tracked. There was the little walk we did later. That was their journey down there, planning it in the morning and making sure all the presents are ready, wrapped up to be taken over there. Yes, Toady guarding the house and Homer also on duty, and the flatulent fairy on the doorstep. And yes, so we're off. There's a long photo trail. This is the summary, but long photo trail of their journey through to where they are, near Lake Yateley. Yes, so we arrived there and unpack and look at our presents. And mine was a phone from June. Certainly be better than the one I got. And yes, Christmas crackers, lovely Christmas lunch. Yes, posing for photos. And brandy on the Christmas pudding, which they had a bit of a job lighting, and Michelle helped, although we should have used a blow lamp, it would have been much quicker. And then relaxing in the lounge, and then we decided, we'll take a walk out. And yes, Michelle is wearing her uniform. So we're walking through the common land, which is all part of the old Blackbush airfield. Lovely walk. And there's a big cross on there, which I think means temporary out of use. Yes, and posing for photos. And little paths, all part of what was, of course, the military base. And yes, and then playing whatever it is, there's a quiz, Articulate, I think we were playing. Yes, he was dozing off, Gary was dozing off, Robin was dozing off. Yes, so 6:10 in the evening. Yes, any snacks you want to eat? Lots of lovely food. And they were watching stuff on the television. So what was that? Oh yes, Wallace and Gromit, I think, 9:15. So yes, perhaps we'll be driving home, and we are. Get home. And yes, I checked the tracker. Yes, that was working. Anybody interested? Oh look, they're having a walk round the airfield. Better watch out for aircraft. Of course, they don't fly on that bit. And I decided, let's check out the village, see if anywhere's open, like the Comrades Club. No, absolutely closed, everything. But what you expect, Christmas Day. So 10:25 in the evening. Yeah, processing of the video for the Christmas Eve, the day before. Yes, watched by Lady. And what are they watching now? Oh, I think it was Home Alone, a remake of that little comedy drama. Yes, time for bed. So that is the summary. So now into all the photos in the order shot. Very boring. Yes, that was our planned trip down late morning to get there for lunch. And a little bit later than we thought, of course. Making sure all the presents are ready to be taken over. And yes, all wrapped up. Yes, some of the photos are a bit blurred. That was Michelle's. It was too big to take there, so she unwrapped that one early, and I think she said at all. Yes, there's loads of things you could use that for, but I don't know. Yes, and that's Toady on guard duty, looking out the front window. Yes, that's the one. No trespassing. And yeah, so we're about to go. Yes, selfie in front of Homer. Yeah, boots open. Plenty of room to get all the presents in. Toadie's prowling now, keeping an eye on things. There's the flatulent fairy. So all the presents go into the boot fairly easily. And yes, there's the robot boat. Nothing done on that. And that's all public in terms of anybody that is able to help. And there's the Christmas mouse that I'd got the day before. And there's Toadie decided to go over the road, prowling around, I expect. So yes, just a few snaps there, including that is now in position. The sculpture that June got Robin for her birthday a few years ago now. Cameras everywhere, of course. Homer, watch out for Homer, and particularly Lady. Lady is Michelle's pussycat, so she's keeping an eye on things as well. So yeah, I think the house is okay to be left now. Yes, coming up to 11:30 in the morning. Yes, there's the fairy that's at the top of the Christmas tree in the lounge. And yeah, so I think we're ready to go. Oh yes, that's looks like some cake or something that they had made to take over to Saskia. Obviously all the food is made by them, but that was a little hobby job that I think, well, it was June's idea, I think, but I think Samantha helped her with it. So now we're on their way, past the Beresteed, we're on our way towards the A30 and the Windmill pub. Yes, there's the windmill. And now we're going along the A30. Good weather, of course. Past Hallgrave School on the left and Longacres on the right. And over the dual carriageway but yeah, past Bagshot Park, Royal Entrance, and past the Archaeology Centre on the left that was once a police station. And through the middle of Bagshot. And yes, the old chapel there. Yes, new places like Hobbycraft there. There's the pub on the right. Windscreen wiper caught there because it was just a little bit of drizzle, not very much. So we're approaching the Jolly Farmer roundabout, where American Golf has been there for years. And we're just following the A30 right through. It'll be right through the middle of Camberley. Yeah, behind the bicycle. So approaching the middle of Camberley. Just looking down a few roads as I go past them. Much of that hasn't changed for many years. Yeah, past the Military Academy on the right. Yes, call that Compass House or something. New flats or apartments, of course. It looked like a NATO symbol being used, but of course compass symbol, yeah, same thing. And yeah, so we're at the back end of Camberley now, past McDonald's on the left. I wasn't quick enough to get the picture of the elephant, the real life. You just see him under that sign, but I wasn't quick enough. No, stupid boy. Did my Homer impression there. I wanted to get the picture of the elephant. So that's Blackwater, I think. Yes, past. Most of the places are closed being Christmas Day. So up that long stretch of the A30 to the roundabout and off towards Yateley there, coming into Yateley and up Little Vigo. Lovely little potholey lane. Cuts the traffic down. And yeah, it's common land right adjacent to it. Yeah, little footpaths going up. It says no motor vehicles. I think they mean motorbikes. I don't think you'd get a car down there. Be a bit of a challenge. So Yeah, we get to Saskia and Gary's place. There we go. Yeah, and across the road, straight out into the common land. So, got all those presents to get out and carry through. Yeah, there's Gary. And there's their pussycat, Sebastian. Now, how about that? Yeah, they've got a Scrivens crest. Bit of artwork as well. Yeah, Saskia. I like the painters they've got up on their walls. Yeah, so just after 12 o'clock. And midday, that is, by the way. Yeah, so time to relax and open presents, I guess. Yeah, that was a present to me. High energy suet. And of course lots of fruit and nut chocolate. And yes, stuff about Spitfires. And yes, look at that. Yeah, it's typical stuff that some of my family, like my silly sister Sally, would have got me. And yes, oh, there's June's. She loved her bell. Yes, so she better put that somewhere. And if she needs assistance, she just knows to ring the bell. And of course, it has to be Samantha that gets it. Oh, that's a present from Samantha. I don't know when I get a chance to read it. I'm too busy these days. Yes, and there's the phone that June got me. Certainly be better than the one I got, which is complete rubbish. You can't get an ordinary phone now. They all have to be smartphones. Yes, and that's the power charging for it. And June said, oh, no, you can plug it into my phone. It was 2 Type-C, I think, connectors. Some debate about that. That's Sebi. And so we're all relaxing there. And there's cooking going on there. So I'm not sure who is the chief chef there, whether it's Gary or Saskia. So they're laying the table. Glimpse outside through the window, their back garden. And yes, so there's a Christmas meal. Yes, force ourselves to eat it. Yes, sorry about that, my friends from the Middle East, that was bacon wrapped around the sausage. Sorry about that. They're probably pork sausages as well. There's Sebi, I think relieving herself, or hisself, beg your pardon. Yeah, pulling crackers with little quizzes and things inside them. Very traditional Christmas stuff, of course. Yes, that was some stuffing, I think. Yes, calling toasts. Yeah, so thoroughly enjoyable Christmas lunch. Yes, and still got my hat on. Yes, posing for a photo. Yeah, look at that, full plate. Oh, the tweezers came in the Christmas cracker. And then I saw the Napoleon brandy. Yes, I could have tried drinking it, but no, it's not a good idea. And I think it had another use, which was pouring it over the Christmas pudding. But then there was some exercise in trying to light it. Good old traditional matches. But they couldn't get it to start. I suggested a douse of petrol, but no, Michelle then lended a hand. So yeah, you're having some difficulty with it. But so consequently there would have been quite a lot of brandy in there. And of course I suggested that maybe it wasn't such good quality brandy, watered down a bit, especially if it was from Tesco. What was it? Did it say 36%? So what proportion was water? Yeah, that may be why it didn't light. But without putting a Bunsen burner or something on it, how would you know? There's Sebi, likes the cardboard box to relax in wherever we are. We're back in the lounge now. Yes. And then I think, oh yes, that was the solution June found for charging the phone that she just given me as a present, which is simply a lead from the. I had a bit of a doze, quite a lot. That's 3 o'clock in the afternoon. Oh yes, yes, we saw the King's speech, and we watched that. Yeah, yeah. Sorry about the awful exposure, Charlie. It's that stupid camera. But yes, well done. Right, so it looks like we're getting ready to go out for a walk. Putting shoes on. Been more interested, if not, yes, so we're going for a walk. That was what that symbol meant. Been more interested with taking their shoes and socks off, but no, they didn't want to do that. So, right, so we're just leaving the house, and there's Michelle with her, whatever you call that, but you pull a bit of string and the ears go up in the air. Yeah, lovely garden, and it said, Sandico, stop here. So, yes, nicely decorated bit of garden that, and then off into the woods through, yeah, signs of stuff from, oh, at least the war, and some of it goes back before that. When I say the war, I mean the Second World War, 1939 to 45. And yeah, so signs of the old runways and things, and then the main runways, all out of use. You can guess that by the grass up the middle, but all part of so-called common land. You look on the map, the strip along beside the A30 is still operating as a small private airport. Right, so other families being met, that was most enjoyable, especially dressed as Santa Claus. Yeah, that big X there, yes, there's a posed photo. No chance to say who the people are, but a lot of people will recognise it from their family pages. So you say it was a sort of a triangular route around the main runways, and towards the back end of it there were differences of opinion the best way. Oh, that was interesting. Sign of an old bit of drainage, I think, underneath the runways. There's all sorts of stuff around. Yes, this is where, right, Samantha and June decided to go walking off that way. I thought, no, you could probably take a cut through the woods, because you could practically see where the house was. That's without looking on a smartphone map or anything. Yeah, looking at things. And that's the houses. So it's through there. Yes, I can see. So we took a shortcut through. I was following Gary. And there we are. We were there probably a minute before they were. Yeah, photograph didn't come out. That camera. As I said, these are all 4:3 aspect ratio. So it's the only camera I've got that works. Batteries and all that. So blurred pictures. Yes, Coca-Cola, relaxing. Yes, smartphones, probably WhatsApp messages and things from family. And yeah, so, oh yes, that was some presents for me. Yes, I do occasionally drink alcohol. Stone's ginger wine was one, and ginger beer. God, it's a little while since I had ginger beer. I remember making it many decades ago. Right, now quizzes, and at any one time members of us are dozing off, so, but I must admit, occasionally as the questions were read out, this is articulate, so you have to describe a word that's on the card, and there's several words on the card. Yes, there's both of us having a doze. Not easy to take a photo when you're dozing, is it? Might have to pose occasionally. 6:10, and yes, lots of snippets of having a quick doze. They're still playing that articulate, and then going out, because there was, yes, some snacks out there, so very good stuff. So I certainly went out and treated myself to filled a plate with things that I fancied, brought them back through into the lounge where I could nibble those things. And yes, now that was a thing on AI, and it was for children, and I think that was about right. Yes, and they mentioned one event which is on my grumpy page, which was when we came very close in, was it around about 1984 to a nuclear war by accident. But I don't think they quite got the story right there. It wasn't so much AI mistakes. Good to blame it on that. It was an individual. 9:15 in the evening. So, right, there we go. Looks as though we're getting ready to go. June driving again. She seemed happy to do that. And yeah, through Camberley. Yeah, not many things have come out with that camera. Yes, I can just about recognise places. That's along the A30. Yes, to where we turn off near the windmill. So we're now coming past into no way of knowing, the lighting is so poorly captured on that camera, but not to worry, better than nothing. Back home into the lounge. Yeah, check the tracker. Yes, that shows the total trip, and there's the walk around Blackbush Airfield and Common, and back home to 22 Armitage Court, just here. Yes, with Christmas trees, and yes, I thought I'll take a walk down to the village and see if anywhere's open, and I was particularly thinking of the Comrades Club. But of course it was Christmas Day, but I thought, yeah, give myself a bit of exercise and just out of curiosity see if anywhere was open. Yes, there's Homer. So off down to the village, and in summary, nothing was open, including the Comrades Club. No, pity. And the Flame Kebab. Well, it doesn't seem unreasonable that these guys need to enjoy Christmas, and I'd imagine there wouldn't be enough people going there anyhow to force themselves to stay open. So I'm back home. There we go. 10:25 in the evening. Yeah, process the video, put a commentary on for the day before. That would have been Christmas Eve, I suppose. I don't know, I'll lose track. And yeah, they're watching something on the TV. I think that was Home Alone, a remake. And yes, with Lady watching it as well. Well, some of the time. Time for bed. So that's the end of the photo trail. I think I warned you it would be, you can't see my face as I'm using the smartphone, that it will be a long, probably boring photo trails, but we're about to go into the material. There we go. There's me using the smartphone because none of my cameras are working. And so, yes, there's the expensive Renoir, and the earlier material about global warming and my suggestions about the DVLA. I think that started at about here. Now, what I put on the screen, because global warming is rare in itself, it's something that's been on my grumpy page for years. The remarkable James Lovelock, who passed away on the 26th of July, his 103rd birthday. I'll read out what this says here. This has been on the grumpy page for years, not long after the publication of his book, Revenge of Gaia. We can't stop global warming, but we may delay it by a few decades to give us time to prepare for its effects.
Vast areas of the world, including as close as continental Europe, becoming arid desert. Shrinking of habitable areas of the planet to much smaller parts of the planet, closer to the poles. The Earth will then only be able to support a small fraction of its present population, and there will be a need for massive migration. Places like the UK will remain temperate a little longer, so be an attractive destination. We need all world governments to cooperate to prepare for this inevitability. Also to agree things like reduce use of fossil fuels to give us a few more decades to prepare. And then it goes on. The above is not a quote, but how I remember what James Lovelocks said in his book, The Revenge of Gaia, etc. That's been unchanged on my site for years. And right, well, the other thing I should mention, yes, retired, happy and spending that kid's inheritance, is for some time now I've not been able to drive due to, well, several mistakes at the DVLA. And what I will say is that I have new evidence of what happened inside the DVLA, which I won't publish yet because I'm still waiting for the reply to the letter which was delivered by recorded delivery to the head of the DVLA and also other people. So I'll put in at the end of this long video the video that's gone up, me talking about the DVLA, and basically in summary it says I don't want anybody to get into trouble, and that is definitely the case, and resigning is too easy. Problems need to be fixed. But quite honestly, that is a minor thing compared with all the other things that are going on in the world, not least wars, and of course what's in the background and very important is global warming. So let's run into that. Back in 2012.
Seeing the launch of a transatlantic sailing attempt this morning in a model boat. Retired NATO scientist Robin Lovelock launched his Snoop Loop from Barton-on-Sea towards the Bahamas. It's already been tested over 5,000 miles on a lake in Berkshire. The model will be steered and tracked through a satellite system and by Snoopy, of course, and it should make the crossing in 6 months, if it survives, that is.
The most important thing of the lot, of course, is Snoopy the Viking, the skipper. I don't think he'd make it otherwise. We've also got another bit and piece here. This is a GPS logger that logs the position every 15 minutes. That was back in 2012. The guy that put this material together, including the live broadcast and what went up on the BBC website, is Ben Moore.
I just worried for Snoopy. Sport now and Hampshire.
Right, on to the next topic. Right. Now, I'm going to do this all in one take. All unrehearsed and unscripted, so sorry about that. What I'd like to happen, if anybody picks up on the DVLA story, is, as I say, nobody getting into trouble, and that's a genuine request, but when they find flaws in procedures where they don't cover certain things, be good if those are fixed. What I think would be useful for anybody looking at the DVLA and perhaps helping them is, first of all, their organisation chart showing the structure. Yes, it's well known who the head of the DVLA, remarkable woman, looking at her CV, and relevant to this story is the head of the health part. But it would be very useful to see, even if names aren't attached, obviously the names can be attached where they're public already, is how many people in each branch, how many people are reporting to how many. So a simple tree would help. I suggest that first of all. Then, perhaps even more important, is how many people working for the DVLA, even if you don't identify the individuals, are salaried by the DVLA excuse me, directly, as opposed to contracted through an agency or a business. That is very important, and we've seen what's been happening in places like the NHS for years. So that comes into the equation in terms of whether money is well spent. And of course the DVLA collects a lot of money. And there are probably other things as well. But as a starting point, I'd hope anybody that responds to this, I can't afford to get overloaded. We've got other things to do, many other things to do, and we'll be taking a holiday. That'll be public, yes. I'm tracked everywhere by different things, and in fact, if anybody's paranoid about it, anybody who's tracking somebody or looking at somebody's probably seen already. But at the end of the day, there's me wittering on, which is one of my main weaknesses since I was a little child. That's why if you put things up, clearly be careful what you put up, and often it can do some good. I'm now in the kitchen and June's rustling up some food in the microwave for Samantha, and here's Samantha, and of course there's tennis on the television, just for a change. So, oh yes, point out, holidays in we're going off to Sicily again soon, and into the hall. Yes, nice expensive paintings here. Yep, expensive little pocket camera, not expensive, and through into the lounge and out to wrap up this video by saying, look after yourselves, stay safe, and enjoy what days we have. Yes, it's now middle of March 2024, and the pond's changed quite a bit. I'll have to change the copyright statement at the end, but the message is the same. Look after yourselves, stay safe, and enjoy life while we can. Oh yeah, my hair's grown a bit since then.